Hey there, Dunn Dolphins. This is Mr. Murphy. I am the PE teacher and cross country coach, and just wanted to say a few words about what to expect in PE. Talk a little bit about grades, a little bit about events that hopefully will go off. If they don't go off this year, well, certainly hopefully they'll go off next year. And then also talk a little bit about cross country and give you a little contact info if you have any questions. So, the first thing that I want to say about PE is this. I'm 43 years old, and so if you're anywhere close to my age when you had PE, when I had PE growing up, a lot of it was like each week was like a little mini sports camp, right? So it was one week was like basketball for the week, and the next week was soccer for the week, and the next week was maybe volleyball for the week. And so it was just a lot of playing sports. PE now is we focus a lot more on movement, and we certainly do teach some sports skills, but with the exception of pickleball, which I'll talk about in a little bit, we won't really spend any long length of time, like the whole 4 or 5 day PE rotation. We won't spend 4 or 5 days straight on one sport. We'll hit a couple of different sports within a rotation and just introduction and skills and that kind of thing. So anyway, with that said, there is a grade for PE, and the grade is based on participation and effort. This is not something where, hey, that kid that kid's an all-star in 4 sports, automatic O in PE. That's not how that works. It doesn't matter what kind of sports you do outside of school. Certainly, in a lot of ways, kids maybe that haven't found a organized sport that they want to play yet, or a physical activity that they like. Those are really kids like to try to get out there and get active, even if it's just something where we make them fall in love with walking or jogging or whatever it might be. So the grade, it doesn't, if your child is someone that like, well, he's just not that athletic or she's just not that athletic, first off, maybe a little more athletic than you realize, just in the right environment, and once they find something that they really love. But PE is a class that is about movement and sportsmanship and collaboration and teamwork, and certainly, like I said earlier, we would do dabble in some sports. So in terms of what to expect for your kid to be learning in PE, first part of the year we talk about expectations, procedures, which this year is certainly a little different than most, which we just adapt, we adjust, and we overcome. And that's what we've been doing so far. So the first bit of school year, procedures, expectations, basic skills, locomotor skills, that's things like skipping, hopping, jumping, etc. Manipulative skills, basic throwing, catching, and we do the things like throwing and catching either with balls that are about this big that are squishy, or small yarn balls that are very soft, so that if a child happens to miss a ball, which happens of course when they're learning, and it does not hurt. But we don't use real softballs or baseballs here. So that's the first part, just getting to know the kids, seeing where they are with manipulative skills, locomotor skills. And then we get into different sports. Some of the sports that we will cover right now, we are doing hockey. A couple years ago, the NHL made a push to get hockey into the schools, so the Nashville Predators donated a bunch of equipment, and so we're just going over the basics of hockey. But I'll give you an example. Like in class today, we did some warm-up games. We ran some. We ran some with some tag. We played some pass the trash, which had some throwing and some running, and then we got into hockey, just how to hold the stick, dribbling, passing. So that gives you an example where for 50 minutes of a class, we spent maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes on hockey, and 20 minutes or so on being active. And of course, hockey's active too, but I mean like staying constantly active. So anyway, so we didn't spend like the whole hour on hockey. And then the next couple of days, we're going to start in on a different sport. So like I said, PE, for the 50 minutes, kids will be moving around a lot, running, playing different modified warm-up games, fun games, tag games, games with balls, and then getting into that day's lesson and some skills within a sport. We do ultimate frisbee. We do lacrosse. Once we get back inside the gym, we do something called scooter hockey. And once we do that, that game is very popular. And scooter hockey, and this is where kids don't even know they're getting a workout in PE sometimes. So with scooter hockey, if we play scooter hockey for 40 minutes, by the time the kids get done, they've gotten quite the quad workout, and they've had to work together as a team. Sometimes things get competitive, and maybe there's an argument, and then they have to use some social skills to work it out. And I will tell you, I'm there to make sure that nothing physical happens, but I try to just watch and let the kids work it out as much as possible, so they do develop those social skills. I think they call them conflict resolution skills. So just remembering what it's like to be a kid, and giving kids a chance to be people and to work things out themselves. And then if that doesn't work, then I step in as a teacher and I come up with a solution quickly. So ultimate frisbee, scooter hockey, lacrosse, doing hockey right now, soccer. We did quite a bit of spike ball at the end of last year. We've done a little bit of spike ball so far. And then the big one, and I don't even know if we're going to be able to do it this year, is pickleball. And the reason why we spend more time on pickleball than most is because one of the key standards with health and phys ed, like the one that just shows up again and again and again, is to develop a lifelong active human beings. And so of everything that we cover, pickleball is the one, if you know anything about it, I always tell the kids, if you are 7 and your grandparent is 67 or 77, if grandma or grandpa can move around a little bit, pickleball is a sport you can play with your grandparent. And if you're not familiar with it, you can kind of think of like tennis combined with ping pong. It was actually a game that was created by accident. It's kind of a fantastic story if you want to Google it. So we spend a lot of time on pickleball just because it's something that really is a lifetime activity. And also, it's picking up quite a bit of popularity. If you didn't see it in the news, over the summer, Tom Sawyer added 16 pickleball courts. And we're out there for cross-country a couple nights a week. And those things are usually, you can't even get on a court. You have to wait to get on a court most nights. So it's just a fantastic game, and it really hits that lifelong movement standard. So we spend a lot of time on that. And then some events. So planned right now for Friday, November 19th is our turkey trot. Now, I don't know if it will happen or not. The turkey trot is absolutely fantastic because, like I tell the kids, it combines all my favorite things. It's fitness, it's fun, it's food, it's friends, it's families. And the way the turkey trot works is the older kids, first we get help. The Indian Hills Police always comes and helps us and blocks traffic. Without their help, we would not be able to do the turkey trot. And the cool thing about PE at Dunn is this is my 15th year. And when I first came here as a student teacher, it was very clear that there were already well-established 30-year plus traditions at Dunn for PE, which one of them is a turkey trot. And so it was started by Mr. Swetnam, and I know some parents that are watching this, you had Mr. Swetnam for PE. So the turkey trot, how that works is in the morning there's a schedule, and the fifth graders come and they run/walk a route around the neighborhood, and parents and grandparents are welcome to come and jog with them. And then there's a special meal that's made by the folks in the cafeteria, and parents and grandparents, aunts, uncles stick around and they have a meal with their kids and their kids' friends, and it's a great event. Now, this is September the 10th, and so what are the chances of us having turkey trot in November? I don't know. So, but if we can do it at all, we'll do it because, like I said, it's one of the traditions of Dunn, and it's just fantastic. Speaking of traditions, I think for PE related, the one that goes back the furthest is Jump Rope for Heart. And if you're not familiar with Jump Rope for Heart, we do it every year. And we raise money for the American Heart Association. And the last I'd have to look it up, but I think 3 of the last 4 years or 4 of the last 5 years, we have raised the most money in the state. I mean, we've been well over $30,000 for Jump Rope for Heart the last few years, which is a testament to our community and a testament to the generosity and kindness of our families. And it's also a testament to the kids especially as they've had a couple of years of jump rope for heart, understanding, yes, they love the prizes, but once they get old enough, I have had some of the most just heartwarming, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching conversations with older kids about what the American Heart Association means for them, what it means for them personally. Sometimes they've had cardiovascular disease impact their lives very, very intimately. Sometimes kids, while they don't have any family members that have been impacted by cardiovascular disease, they still they get it, right? And so hopefully we'll be able to do Jump Rope for Heart. We do that the first week in February, and it's a big event. We have a special schedule, and it's a family event. You'll see about all the PE events, man. The theme of family comes through again and again and again. And so hopefully we'll get to do that in February. I'll be starting getting information out about that in January. And then towards the end of the year, of course, we do Field Day, which is a lot of fun. And so Field Day, there's a lot of collaborative events. When I was in elementary school way back in the 80s, Field Day was a lot of relays and a lot of ribbons and that kind of thing. It's not like that anymore, although I will say, knowing we do have a lot of competitive kiddos in the school, we still do have like the relay races and other little competitions, but there's also some collaborative events. And by the way, I meant to say this earlier. Speaking of a lot of competitive kids in our school, I am someone that has always been very, very competitive. I did not like to lose, and that started when I was, long back, as far as back as I can remember. My parents said when I was 5, and I was as early as 5, I just didn't like to lose. And so that's how I was wired. And so the competitive part of things in PE, that is not completely gone. I certainly give kids a chance to let the competitiveness out, because as a former competitive kid myself, I know there's got to be some outlet for that. But that also plays into the sportsmanship part about competing, and whether you win or lose, finding ways to calm yourself down after and be kind about the results. So if you got a competitive kid, don't think that it's just it's not just little kumbaya activities. There is a chance for the competitive kids to kind of get that outlet as well. But there's just a balance to it. And then finally, cross country. If you are interested in doing cross country next season, we will be having a meeting in the last couple of weeks of school, and I will send home a flyer about that. And this is our 13th year going strong, and there is no tryout for cross country. I do not care what your kid's mile time is. My only 2 requirements to being on our cross country team is, one, that your child really gives their best effort at every practice to really improve themselves and become the best version of themselves that they can be. And then the second thing is that they are a great, not just a good teammate, but a great teammate and an ambassador of the sport, and that they cheer on not only their own teammates, but they cheer on all the runners out there. Because running, it's not easy. It's hard. And I tell the kids that all the time. It's hard. And if anybody ever tells you running is not hard, I'm not sure what they're trying to do for you, but it's hard. But it's also very, very rewarding. And so if you're interested in cross country for the 2022 season, just be on the lookout for a flyer that'll be coming home with all the kids. I give a flyer to every kid in the school. That'll come home late May, or actually probably early May, and then we'll have a meeting in late May. And then practices will start in mid-July 2022. So as far as 2021 season, we're already well into it. Couple months into it, and I'm about to go to our 4th meet tonight, so a little too late for this year, but next year. And we know all the runners we can get, right? So I'd love to see us have 30 kids per grade and have 180 kids on the team, 200 kids on the team, 300 kids on the team, whatever. We'll make it work. And so if you're interested at all, give it a shot. I think that's it. If you have any questions, my email is ryan.murphy@jefferson.kyschools.us, and then my phone number is 502-419-8829. And if you have any questions and if you want to call me, I would recommend texting first to say, hey, this is so-and-so. I'm the father or mother or grandparent of so-and-so, and then call me, because otherwise, if I don't know the number, I may not answer. So anyway, that's it. If you have any questions, I'm here to help. And let's make 2021, 2022 the very best that we can. Adapt, adjust, overcome, and we're going to be all right. Go Fins!